Can you believe it? 3 years from now, the top teams from Europe and the Americas might entirely withdraw from the World Cup. Imagine a World Cup without England, without Spain, without Brazil, and without Argentina. A hollow tournament missing every single one of the best players alive. It sounds insane, right? But just a few days ago, this apocalyptic scenario wasn't just a wild conspiracy theory. It became a live nuclear option sitting on the boardroom table of world football. And the man holding the match that could burn the beautiful game to the ground is the single most powerful figure in global sports. Just over 2 months ago, Gianni Infantino, the president of FIFA, was an untouchable autocrat. His re-election was supposed to be a formality, a coronation that nobody even bothered to question. Now, he is fighting for his political life, chased by a ruthless open letter signed across 3 continents and abandoned by national federations one after another. He is one bad week away from the most spectacular fall football has ever seen. If you haven't been tracking the civil war tearing through football's boardroom, let me catch you up, because it all started with a secret plot to sell the soul of the sport. Fresh off a record-shattering World Cup that generated billions, Infantino quietly unveiled a proposal that no FIFA president had ever dared to pitch. He wanted to take the commercial and ticketing rights to every single FIFA competition, including the World Cup, fold them into a brand new company, and sell off 1/5 of it to a private investment group. The price tag? Up to $2 billion. And the anchor investor lined up for this massive buyout was Thrive Capital, an American venture firm founded by Joshua Kushner. Yes, the brother of Jared Kushner. Yes, Donald Trump's son-in-law. The football world didn't just reject this plan, they detonated it. Within days, UEFA, the governing body of European football, voted to boycott the World Cup entirely if the deal went through. North and Central America's CONCACAF joined the boycott. Asia's AFC rejected it too. The opposition was so furious, so total, and so blindingly fast that Infantino had to do the only thing he could. He killed his own plan and issued a humiliating apology to all 211 member associations. But here is the terrifying part. The apology didn't work. The anger didn't die when the plan did. It mutated. The Confederation bosses realized the problem wasn't just a bad business proposal. It was the man sitting on the throne. The rebel federations dropped a brutal open letter to the football family. It was so meticulously controlled that it never even mentioned Infantino by name it didn't have to. It accused him of breaking trust through deception, stating that leadership is a duty of service, not a possession to be held. It declared that when a man places himself above the collective, he abandons his duty. Now, the mutiny is spreading like wildfire. England, Croatia, Norway, and even the Global Players Union have turned against him. And behind closed doors, the rebel confederations are quietly and carefully preparing the Doomsday protocol, breakaway competitions. A reality where FIFA's flagship tournament carries on without half the planet. With the walls closing in, Infantino is desperate, and the cavalry riding to his rescue is a bizarre, highly transactional coalition of the grateful. Follow the favors. Suddenly, just this past week, Donald Trump goes on social media, calling Infantino fantastic and warning that replacing him would be a terrible mistake. Why now? Trump is famous for not backing losers. He is doing it because Infantino literally handed Trump the inaugural FIFA Peace Prize last year, because Trump sat right beside him at the World Cup final. And because of that massive Kushner connection tied to the $2 billion deal, a favor for a favor. But here is the ultimate plot twist. The sharpest contradiction of this entire saga. While the US president is out here fiercely defending his friend, US Soccer, the actual governing body that ran the World Cup on the ground in America, stood shoulder to shoulder with the rebels and practically pointed Infantino toward the exit. The American Federation and the American president are on completely opposite sides of this war. And then, look at the host nations. Mexico, flush with billions in tourist dollars from packed stadiums, broke ranks with its own confederation just to support Infantino. Argentina, the reigning champions, begged him to stay. It is a survival coalition built entirely on receipts. Right now, we are looking at a high-stakes Mexican standoff. Infantino is barricaded in his Zurich headquarters, surrounded by a management committee of people he directly employs, holding up their loyalty as a mandate from the masses. He has no official challenger yet, which is the only reason he is still breathing. But if a serious heavyweight candidate steps forward before the 2027 Congress in Morocco, or if those breakaway whispers in Europe and the Americas turn into an actual schedule of matches, the sport as we know it will split in two. The fight over who owns the World Cup, who runs it, and who gets to sell it has only just begun. So, are you watching a loyal president being unfairly ousted by greedy European elites, or are you watching a corrupt king trying to pawn the crown jewels? Tell me down in the comments, because the aftermath of this World Cup is turning out to be far bloodier than the tournament itself.